Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shanna.
And I'm Xavier.
And we're filming, what should we call this?
How you found out you're pregnant?
Yeah, like how I found out I was pregnant at 15. So, I have some notes right here, so if I'm looking down, that's why. Also, don't mind the background. This is the best lighting in the house. This is my brother's room. Let's just get right into the video. So, we first met back in December of 2016. We met through a mutual friend, and we just started talking, and it was just normal. Like, we were friends at first, and then he asked me out a couple times, and I rejected him.
After a month or so of talking, she finally said yes. January 11th, 2017.
Yeah.
So after around a month or so of talking, she finally said yes on January 11th, 2017.
Yeah. So we were dating about 3 months before I found out I was pregnant. I know. I was on birth control since I was about 14, which was only a year. Just because of acne. I wasn't sexually active before this or anything. It was only because of acne. My parents didn't know that I was sexually active. And I would take my birth control pills every day, but how I would take them was very stupid, and I just wasn't educated on how to take them right. I would take one at like 9 a.m. and then the next day I would take one at 5 p.m. Which, if you know how to take the pill, you're supposed to take, like, if you take it at 9 a.m. one, like the morning before, the next day you're supposed to take it at 9 a.m. Or else there's a huge gap period which you're not covered because it's only good for 24 hours.
So we were using protection, but there were 2 times that the condom actually broke. They weren't expired or anything.
Yeah, they were good condoms. They were fine.
Well, not necessarily good.
Yeah, not good, not good. They were Trojan condoms. Don't buy them. They're terrible.
We don't recommend.
No, definitely not. So I ended up getting pregnant on the 16th of March. Yeah, I got pregnant on the 16th of March, and we found out on April 11th. My first pregnancy symptoms were my boobs were so sore. I never got sore boobs, like, ever, not during my period. I've never, like, experienced that. So it was very off for me and very strange. So that was my first hint that I was pregnant. Me and my friend Andrea planned on going to the teen clinic in our school because they offer free pregnancy tests. The teen clinic at my school is only open on Tuesdays, and this was on a weekend when I was starting to, my boobs were really sore. On Monday, there was school, and all of a sudden, I had just gotten, like, really sick. My stomach was just, like, turning, and, like, my mouth started watering, and I'm like, I'm gonna throw up. So I had to run to the bathroom, and I threw up. I ended up actually going home because I just felt so sick. The whole rest of the day, I was actually throwing up the whole day. So I kind of just thought that I was sick because, you know, the whole term, like, the whole saying, like, morning sickness. I thought it was only, like, in the morning that you could get sick. And this was all day. So I thought I was just, like, the flu or something. Anyway, the next day, we ended up going into the teen clinic still because I was feeling a bit better. I still threw up, but I still, you know, wanted to make sure everything was fine. And I didn't really think that I was pregnant. I was like, I'm on birth control, you know, it'll be fine. But just to make sure, you know, my friend was really worried. She wanted to be sure. And I was kind of just like, it's not going to be positive. But, like, we could just go. So we ended up going, and Xavier actually had no idea. I didn't want to freak him out because I really didn't think that it was going to be positive.
Yeah, we went to completely different schools, and by the time she was in the teen clinic, I was coming home from school because I went to a school very far away.
Yeah, our schools ended at different times too. So the teen clinic opens up at 4 o'clock. It was 3:30, and we were waiting there for about an hour. And all the teachers that were passing by, it was really awkward because I was like, they all know, like, they know what I'm here for. And I didn't want them to, like, look down on me about it. But, like, the teen clinic is used for many things, like, even, like, therapy, stuff like that, like, birth control. You could go to the teen clinic for pretty much anything. So they obviously didn't know. When we finally got called into the room, they asked me if I wanted my friend Andrea in there with me. And I said yes, of course, because I didn't want to do it alone. So we went into this little room, and the nurse asked me to go into the bathroom and pee in this little cup thing. So I went to the bathroom, and I had such a hard time peeing because I was so nervous. And I had just drinking so much water, but I was so nervous that I could not pee. So it took me about 10 minutes to actually pee in the cup. I gave the cup to the nurse, and then I walked back in the room and waited with Andrea for about 20 minutes. And there wasn't many people waiting, so I was like, something's up, something's wrong, like I'm definitely pregnant, like it's taking way too long. And then the doctor that came in finally is actually Sophia's doctor today and has been seeing me since. She asked me if I want Andrea in the room or if I want her to leave. So then, like, that was obvious, like, an obvious, like, you're pregnant. So I said I wanted Andrea to stay, and she said, Shanna, you're pregnant. And I kind of just sat there, like, in disbelief, like, with my head down for about, like, 2 minutes, just, like, quiet. She's like, I'll give you some time, and then she left the room. And I just sat there, and I didn't want Andrea to talk to me. Like, we were both just silent, and we were just sitting there. And I don't know how it was so much of a shock to me, because, I mean, we were obviously sexually active, and I know that this could happen, and I wasn't, like, stupid, but it was...
We were kids, and we weren't responsible.
We were young. I mean, he was 14 and I was only 15. So, we weren't very educated on this. So, the doctor came back in the room, Dr. Clendenin, and we discussed my options, and we didn't know how far along I was. So, we kind of just guessed how far along I was, and the guess that we guessed was actually way off, and I was only, like, a couple weeks pregnant. We found out later through ultrasound. After we discussed my options, they sent me to go see a therapist in the teen clinic. So I was talking to her with Andrea for about an hour, and we had this little group thing to go to, so we were trying to rush it, and, like, I just didn't really want to talk about it. So this therapist lady was just telling me about all my, all my options, and asking me about my supports and hooking me up with, like, a doctor and stuff like that. So after we were done there, we left and we went to our group thing, and I was kind of just talking to Xavier, like, everything was fine, like I pretend like I didn't even know.
And it was our 3 months.
Yeah, it was our 3-month anniversary this day. I did not want to tell him at all. I had no intentions on telling him the day I found out. No intentions at all. I wanted to wait at least, like, a week so I could, like, comprehend what's going on. But he ended up coming over later that day, and, he was asking me, like, why are you being so moody? Like, what's up? Why are you acting like this? So I kind of just ended up telling him.
Well, she didn't exactly tell me.
Yeah.
She Okay, so we were laying on the bed and we were watching some movies, and she said, I don't know if I should tell you this right now. And then she decided that she didn't want to, but obviously I would want to know, so I kept nagging her.
Because I already had mentioned it.
Yep. And so eventually she went to her closet and reached in her
jacket
pocket, and pulled out a plastic bag and gave it to me. And it turns out that there were 2 pregnancy tests, well, 3, and 1 unused pregnancy test. Just in case I didn't believe her.
Yeah, just in case he thought I was, like, joking or something like that.
And I look at them and we just looked at each other in silence for, like...
We just laid there for, like, an hour, just not saying anything and just trying to comprehend what was going on.
We eventually started talking and we were asking what we should do. So we thoroughly discussed our options, and...
We couldn't go through with, adoption, any of that. We couldn't, like, it would just be too hard. So, you know, we made the mistake, so we're obviously gonna own up to it and, you know, do what's right, grow up, mature, do what's right for our little family. She was not planned at all. A lot of people asked me, like, if I planned to have her at 15. I mean, we were so young. Who, like...
We wouldn't have even thought of the idea.
Yeah, we're not encouraging teen pregnancy in any way or glorifying it, none of that. We're just telling our story. So that's pretty much it for this video. If you guys want us to make a video on how we told our parents, then make sure to comment that down below and we'll for sure do that.
Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed this week's video.
I hope this video was informative enough and we weren't just everywhere. If you guys have any questions, make sure to comment them down below and I'll for sure answer them. Make sure to subscribe and follow us for our next video. Bye guys. No opinions. I don't care about your opinions. Unless they're nice, of course. Then comment them down below.